Quick update. Turns out Saturday was
and then the like.
This is what it looks like when a bird gets a new feather.
I'm on Medicare, and the joke.
Ah, here we go. There's the sound. I knew it was there somewhere. What's up, everybody? In case y'all didn't notice, we are back on my stupid-ass laptop. This thing right here, the little webcam, because the cord, I am just finding out now, just as I'm about to begin stream, the cord to my camera, this thing, well, it turns out it fell one too many times, and you can only drop your camera with the cord inside it so many times before the cord just goes so I don't have a camera anymore until I get that cord back. I mean, I can try, but I'm not gonna waste so much time trying to find a cord that no longer exists. So we're just gonna commence with the show. So, very depressing week it's been. First thing I want to actually get into is this, there's this guy, he's one of the Finfluencers, he's actually very based. You want to learn how to get a hold of your finances, he's pretty good candidate for someone who's kind of neutral and will just tell you how to manage your finances without giving you stock recommendations or anything like that. Yeah, I kind of like this guy, and he's Canadian. And he actually has a little bit to say. So this guy, the Plain Bagel, I've, probably not watched him on this stream before, but he's definitely a, pretty base chat if you want to learn how to manage your finances. And if you're looking for stock recommendations or the right time to buy the dip, that's not happening, bro. Let's do this. Let's figure out what he's got to say about... And I know this is a month old, but it's kind of been a while since I've actually, been able to... I actually haven't watched a lot of his stuff lately, just because I've been all in on socialism and shit, and he's kind of as capitalist as it gets. But he does know how to manage finances. Show discussion. We'll just go ahead and put that there, even though nobody freaking talks in there. Yeah, here we go.
This video is sponsored by Morning Brew. Click the link in the description below to sign up for their daily business newsletter today. Hey everyone, you're watching The Plain Bagel. Breaking news regarding the Canada-US trade war this past week, as we saw President Trump announce that the tariffs he promised to slap on Canada, China, and on day one of office finally became effect February past Saturday, with him declaring that there was nothing these countries could do to stop the tariffs from taking place. Quick update, turns out Saturday was just the executive order. Trump has now announced that Tuesday is definitely the date that these tariffs will be coming into effect, with 25% tariffs being slapped across most goods from Canada and Mexico. What's that? This just in. Never mind. Turns out Trump...
Yep, that's our president in a nutshell. He is such a goddamn pussy. He will go all hard on the existence of trans people and throw trans women in men's prisons to become sex slaves. But God forbid he stays a little bit on the consistent side with fucking, God forbid he stays fucking consistent. You know, how dare he, wanna... And it's so ridiculous. This presidency is so ridiculous.
Trudeau had a phone call and everything's Gucci now. So I guess we're good. That's more or less how this past week has gone for Canada trade relations, with many bracing for an all-out trade war between the two close allies, with Trump announcing the 25% tariff on most Canadian goods and 10% tariffs on Canadian energy.
So let's go ahead and read through this. So Canada and Mexico slapped with 25% duties. China gets 10% above current tariffs. Trump wants action on stanching flow of fentanyl and migrants to the U.S., because of course the migrants. Canadian oil, more on that later. Canadian oil would be taxed at 10%, more oil and gas. So if you voted for Trump because, gas prices are too high and egg prices, more oil and gas tariffs expected in mid-February. So, that's Trump. Trump is doing that. Canada, Mexico vow retaliatory tariffs. China says it will take Trump to the World Trade Organization. Canada strikes back with 25% tariffs on $155 billion of U.S. goods. Or, to make that number a little bit bigger, $0.155 trillion Yeah, about 15.5% of $1 trillion of U.S. goods. Yeah, that is suddenly not so, not so. Yeah, it looks like Canada knows how to strike back.
And Canada retaliating with 25% tariffs on a number of American goods that would escalate after a short period of time, only for things to simmer on the announcement from Justin Trudeau of collaborations between the two countries to address fentanyl and illegal border crossings, with Trump postponing the implementation of these tariffs by 30 days, which has led many to wonder, was that all really necessary? After all, Canada and the US have long had one of the deepest alliances and friendships globally, which made these tariffs quite controversial, especially given the reasons provided for slacking these tariffs and how they line up with different data points. But as mentioned, we're not yet out of the woods. The tariffs have been delayed, but it remains unclear what steps are required for...
Of course, as we all know, Trump is going to engage in the tariffs. He's a little bitch boy, you know? He wants people to bow down and suck his dick, but, you know, God forbid he ever, God forbid he ever provides a little bit of flavoring down there, if you know what I'm saying. He wants you to suck his raw dick, but he doesn't want to make it taste good. He wants it to taste like bodily funk and smegma.
Tariffs to come off the table here, which has led many to speculate what might actually happen if these tariffs do end up going into place, how devastating they would be for the Canadian economy, and whether the U.S. would see a net positive or negative impact from this protectionist measure. And with the topic being so hotly debated, I figured I'd chime in to discuss what happened today, why the tariffs have been so controversial, specifically the ones targeted at Canada, and what we could expect to see happen in both countries. And while many are pushing pretty simplified narratives and at times very bold claims around how tariffs will ultimately impact the U.S., there are a lot of moving parts when we talk about international trade, so we'll try to cover things in a nuanced manner. Now, to be transparent from the get-go, as a Canadian myself, whose largest viewer demographic is actually from the United States, I recognize that, sadly, we find ourselves, meaning for my viewers anyway, on either side of the trade frontier, and I'm going to have a little bit of bias here. I'm a Canuck myself, and dare I say, I wasn't a fan of all this. Trump.
Hey, so Plain Bagel, I wanna make a little deal with you. So I'm actually French Canadian. I was actually born in the United States, and I'm becoming more and more embarrassed of my American ancestry. You know, because of all the things going on with the current Trump administration. But how about this? Let's bond over a game of hockey while having some really good fried waffles with that delicious, tasty maple syrup. Let's do that. We can do that. I would love to bond over some of that good old Canadian maple syrup and a game of hockey over how much this is just... It's shit. This whole situation is shit. And I promise you, I did not vote for this. I did not fucking vote for this. So yeah, let's continue.
That all being said, I'll try to focus on the data points here, provide sources for the information I share, and try to avoid getting too political here. That's obviously pretty difficult to do given the circumstance, but the goal here is to have a constructive conversation.
So that's the thing about economics. So the thing about economics is it is inherently political. You cannot have politics without economics, and you cannot have economics without politics. So the mere fact that you're talking about economics means you're talking about politics. So that is kind of, the thing is you're more into the economic aspect of politics, which is a completely legitimate, worldview to have. You know, we can have that discussion every day, but moot point, but yeah, no, economics is politics. So go on. Oh.
So that's what I'll strive to do. So let's start with a quick overview. What exactly went down with the tariffs here? Well, shortly after winning the election in November, we saw President Trump threaten Canada, Mexico, and China with tariffs in the latter half of November on all products entering the country on day one of office. A tariff, of course, is an extra tax that's charged on imports into a country. In the United States, they're paid by the importer, meaning that if you're a U.S. citizen and you import some maple syrup from Canada for $20, you'll find that with a 25% tariff, you're charged an extra $5 for that $20 of syrup. With the idea being that this will incentivize consumers to buy products domestically rather than purchasing products from foreign countries. As for why Trump decided to target Canada, Mexico, and China here with tariffs, according to his own social media posts, drugs and immigrants, with him writing on Truth Social that, quote, "This tariff will remain in effect until such time as drugs, in particular fentanyl, and all illegal aliens stop the invasion of our country." Is that really what they call retweets? Now, since then, Trump has had other complaints about trade between Canada and the United States.
Yeah, that's about right. They're literally called retweets.
More recently, Trump implementing, mostly incorrectly, that U.S. banks are not allowed to operate in Canada. But most of the time, the complaints have been pretty nondescript, with Trump calling trade between the two countries unfair and lambasting what he calls a $200 billion subsidy that the U.S. gives Canada, with him suggesting the tariffs will go away if Canada addresses fentanyl and immigration into the United States, reduces its trade surplus against the U.S., or becomes the 51st state.
What I'd like to see Canada become our 51st state.
Which, to be clear, that's very much still viewed as a joke in Canada, even if that's maybe been forgotten here. Unless you've grown up taking care of house hippos or having nightmares about this guy, quite frankly, respecting Canada's sovereignty is for America's own good. Now, Trump did ultimately delay the tariffs after a phone call.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, Trump is kind of a madman. Like, he does not view, he views America as one of the most superior nations on earth. and it is just completely disgusting. You see, one of the things that I can't stand about this fucking country is for the last 200 and... Are we at 50 years? 1776? 1776? 200 years would be 1976, and then 50 years. Yeah, so as of next year, on the 4th of July... Fuck. 250 years, and I'm alive for that. One thing I hate about this fucking country is for the last almost 250 goddamn years, we have told the world that we were like this amazing star on this a castle on the hill, or the land of all the nation of all nations. We're like, no one could possibly ever, compare to us. We are just like American supremacy, good old American values. Meanwhile, Hitler loves our Bellamy salute and takes it to to talk about and uses it to have his masses salute himself, and then Americans bitch out like little pussies and say, "Oh, that's not our salute anymore. Now you just put your hand on the flag." But we're still brainwashing children into the magic of America and how great this country is. But the only thing I respect about the current administration is they're ripping the charade right off. For the last 250 years, and nobody fucking knew this, our quote-unquote checks and balances operated under the assumption that the people going into that office would operate in good faith. That is obviously not how that works. I mean, that is obviously how that works because we're seeing it now thanks to the fact that Trump is literally defying all checks and balances, and he's pulling this thing of, go ahead, Supreme Court, enforce your little decisions, enforce your court orders. I'll wait with my military of hundreds of billions of dollars. I'll wait with my green camouflage clowns. You ain't gonna enforce shit, Supreme Court. I own you. I'm the president. I'm the real deal. I am the king. Unitary executive theory all the way, bitch.
Both the Mexican president and the Canadian prime minister, with Mexico promising to send 10,000 troops to the border with the U.S. and Canada itself making a number.
Oh, about that, I think they want to actually, starting in April, they want to, at some point in April, they want to visit whether or not they want to declare martial fucking law. Let me see if I can find that actually. Trump wants to declare martial law. So this was published on the 5th of March, 2025. A joint Department of Defense and Homeland Security report will soon recommend whether or not to invoke the Insurrection Act over illegal immigration. Jesus Christ. The clock is ticking down on a crucial but little-noticed part of President Donald Trump's first round of executive orders, the one tasking the secretaries of the Department of Defense and Department of Homeland Security to submit a joint report within 90 days recommending whether to invoke the Insurrection Act. Many of us are now holding our collective breath knowing that the report and what it contains could put us on the slippery slope towards unchecked presidential power under a man with an affinity for iron-fisted dictators. I don't know about you, but I'm not comfortable with that. I am not fucking comfortable with that, knowing that there is a madman. Like under Bernie Sanders, I would be okay with martial law being declared on the bourgeoisie class. Like, no, we're just gonna, like, you're in a war against the American people. You're trying to take away their health care and all these things, so we'll do martial. I would feel much safer in martial law under, like, a Bernie Sanders presidency than I ever would under Trump. And it's not because Democrat and Republican, ew, get the fuck out of here with that shit. Everybody knows the Democrats are on the side of Republicans these days. It is literally because of the fact that it's class. Bernie Sanders is all about the workers. Granted, he pussied out in the 2016 election. I'm not gonna let that go. How he literally just like conceded to Hillary when he could have fucking won. He could have won that. He had the support. And he conceded to Hillary. I'm not gonna forget that. But I would rather someone who cares about the little guy, who actually cares about the little guy and isn't just using the little guy as a facade like Trump is. I would actually prefer he, declare martial law against us dirty Americans, you know, because at least we know that the military is going to, like, go into, like, your local Walmart and pull the money out of the safes and just, like, send it to the soup kitchens and give it to every homeless person there. I mean, I guess I'm exaggerating that part a little bit, but fucking martial law, come on. Like, this is what we voted for. Jesus Christ.
Promises, including putting $1.3 billion towards strengthening the border, hiring a fentanyl czar, listing cartels as terrorists, and launching a Canada-U.S. joint strike force to combat organized crime, fentanyl, and money laundering, with Canada also putting $200 million towards an intelligence directive on organized crime and fentanyl. However, the announcement around the delay has led to the raising of a few eyebrows because the biggest part of this promise of $1.3 billion for strengthening the border is not news. It was announced back in December, shortly after Trump initially threatened tariffs, with even the joint strike force being announced at that time, which gave some the perception that not a whole lot actually changed to cause a trade war. And of course, anything to address the stopping the flow of fentanyl is generally speaking a good thing. But the fact that these tariffs would ultimately cost economies hundreds of billions of dollars that Trump purported would be a net benefit for the U.S. and could even reduce income taxes. The fact that this was all seemingly put off by such a minor, mostly predetermined commitment has raised questions over what the real intentions with all this are, and has really tarnished the trust and long-term trade relationship between the two countries. Which also leads us into why the tariffs against Canada have been so controversial here. Outside the whole annexing a free country thing. Firstly, as has been highlighted many times here, despite being slapped with a similar tariff,
Yeah, so
Canada makes up a tiny fraction.
Which country was that? Was that Canada?
Tariffs against Canada have been so controversial here. With all this are, and has really tarnished the trust and long-term trade relationship between the two countries. Which also leads us into why the tariffs against Canada have been so controversial here. Outside the whole annexing a free country.
Oh yeah, and making Canada the 51st state. Oh, and also renaming, trying to rename fucking Greenland to red, white, and blue land. Are you fucking kidding me? Get the hell out of here, Trump. You're a goddamn clown. How do you actually run this country? Why? You're supposed to be in fucking prison. You, like, and you're, like, isn't treason against the government sentenced something punishable by death? You should be in the gallows, dude. You like, make guillotines great again, to quote one of my boys on like, yeah, no, you should be in prison, dude. Like, the fuck, you should not be in that goddamn White House.
Firstly, as has been highlighted many times here, despite being slapped with a similar tariff to Mexico here, Canada makes up a tiny fraction of drugs and illegal migrants that enter the United States. According to the U.S. Customs and Border Protection's own data, the U.S. northern border accounts for less than 199,000, or roughly 6.9% of total migrant encounters, and just 43 pounds, or 0.2% of the 21.9 thousand pounds of fentanyl that's been seized being smuggled into the country. Which, yes, in both cases is not nothing, but considering Canada and the U.S. have the largest shared land border in the world, it's not bad and clearly not a key contributor to either of the issues. Secondly, there are a number of issues with that $200 billion subsidy claim. For one, Trump seems to be referring to the trade deficit here.
It's not fair that we should have a $200 billion or $250 billion deficit.
Which is not a subsidy. It just means that the U.S. buys more products from Canada than Canada buys from the U.S., which is a sign of prosperity within the U.S. As people become wealthier in the country, it's expected that they would buy more products from abroad. Secondly, the number doesn't seem to be accurate. According to the U.S.'s own Census Bureau, the U.S. trade deficit with Canada for 2024 was $63 billion. So unless it's counting 4 years worth, that $200 billion really overstates how big the deficit is. Thirdly, the only reason the U.S. has a trade deficit with Canada is because of cheap oil that the country sells to the U.S. effectively at a discount, with the country having one of the lowest price oil benchmarks globally, even when put up against comparable benchmarks for the type of heavy oil that comes from.
Like how the hell are we gonna literally be? How the hell is Canada literally going to be accused of some kind of trade deficit when, like, they literally provide us the cheapest oil? And it's like now Ontario is adding, like, a, wasn't there something about a tariff? Like, well, yeah, obviously on U.S. energy imports from Ontario tariffs. So, see, this is based right here, because I'm pretty sure a lot of the electricity they supply goes towards the more, like, especially in New York. After you leave Buffalo, you get into, like, let me see if I can pull up a map of New York. But then again, I also don't know where they provide oil. But let's see. Here we are. So Lake Ontario, that's right here. And I think Ontario, Canada is right here, with Toronto being somewhere in this general area. It would make sense that they would probably be providing, let me see. Let me see if I can... It'll probably be better to do that. So... Here we go. Yeah, so Ontario... So Toronto's right here. Ontario is this whole province right here. Let's see. Oh, Montreal, Quebec, Labrador. Yep, that's Quebec. But I would imagine, like, right in this area is probably where a lot of the New York energy from Ontario is coming from. And in this general area, there's a lot of rural land there. A lot of Trumpanzees. So I think it's based. I really think they should do it. Let's read about it real quick. Oh, you didn't even see, because I'm like not being attentive to you. I'm sorry, stream. I'm sorry. But anyway, so this is as I was saying, Toronto's right here, right? So this is Toronto, Quebec, Montreal, so this is Ontario, sorry, with Toronto down here. Right here, there's a lot of rural area, especially up in here, where I imagine there's a lot of energy. Because remember, Ontario goes from here, so there's a lot of it, I think, being provided to Michigan. I think it'll say something more about it later in this article. In fact, let's see. For more than a century, the U.S. and Canada have sold each other electricity through power lines that crisscross the border, an arrangement that has historically hummed along thanks to the warm relationship between the two countries. That changed this week. On Monday, Ontario Premier Doug Ford announced the province was imposing a 25% surcharge on electricity exported to 3 U.S. states: Michigan, Minnesota, and my home state, baby. Which is really mean, because we went towards Kamala. We didn't want this shit. We didn't want this. Why would you hurt us? It was Minnesota and Michigan that went to Trump. Be nice to us, Ontario. We didn't want this. But anyway, the move was in response to President Trump's tariffs on Canada. Trump, a day later, said he would double U.S. tariffs on Canadian aluminum and steel to 50%. Why would our country allow another country to supply us with electricity, even for a small area? Trump asked in a separate post on his social media site. Ultimately, both sides backed down from their threats and agreed to meet to discuss trade issues, but the whirlwind episode highlighted the U.S. reliance on imported Canadian power and the fact that some states obtain electricity from their northern neighbor. Get out of here. Here's what to know about Canada, the U.S., and the electricity that zips across the border. The U.S. and Canada share a power grid. This is true. What power grid? What power comes? What New York State power comes from Ontario? I hope it's not my power. According to the New York Independent System Operator, as it interties with Ontario's Independent Electricity System Operator, allow for up to let's see. Does National Grid get electricity from Canada? Apparently. So Canada's electric will reverberate. So Canadian government figures show that in 2020, Canada provided the U.S. with 93% of its electricity imports. Okay. National Grid completes major upgrade of Canada. Because I'm trying to figure out, unlike those other states known from National Grid, I don't know. Recently completed a major upgrade. I hate National Grid. Why the fuck am I on this website? 450 kilovolt high voltage direct current, or HVDC, transmission system that has been delivering clean carbon-free electricity from Canada to New England for the past 25 years. And this was back in 2016. National Grid replaced blah blah blah. which isolates any defective lines, equipment, and blah, blah, blah. New equipment also was installed that will enable it to quickly locate problems in the system's transmission lines, especially in remote areas and challenging terrain, and restore service. This Canada-US HVDC system has... Oh, this is going to directly impact me. Fuck. But it's okay. I'm already financially fucked. So, it's whatever. When it was placed in service in 1990, the Canada-New England HVDC system was the first of its kind. Blah, blah, blah. So, yeah. In addition to having major operations in the U.S., National Grid owns and operates the electricity transmission system in England and Wales. That system is linked to France and the Netherlands by HVDC interconnectors. The company jointly developed, owns, and operates. National Grid is also developing proposals for a number of additional HVDC projects that would interconnect with other European countries. So in other words, yes, National Grid is powered by Canada. National Grid, my energy provider, is supplied by Canada. Yep. Thanks, Trump. Thanks, Trump. So, yeah, we're all fucked. But I ain't going down swinging, because look at these motherfuckers over here. Let me see if I can. God damn fucking fucker. Get over there! So, if we're getting impacted, then right about in... No, let me... You won't be able to see that. I need a new... So, in a lot of this area here, I imagine National Grid probably supplies to here. I mean, I'm over in this general area. I'm in this side of New York, baby. So if they're all the way over here, and they get their supply from here, then that means all of this rural Trump-tarded dumb fucks over here that voted for this bastard, they're also going down. So I may be going down, but I'm going down with MAGA fucking flesh between my fingernails, motherfucker. I am so proud of this shit. I will gladly pay my National Grid bill next month. Fuck. I call this being a Canadian patriot. Which, by the way, I had a position in Bank of Montreal, and I was given a dividend, and I paid foreign tax to Canada, and I'm very proud of paying my taxes. I'm very proud of paying tax to Canada. Anyway.
And if you strip out this cheap oil, the U.S. actually flips into a trade surplus of roughly $45 billion. Yet Trump was planning to slap a lower tariff on this commodity. Fourthly, Canada's trade balance with the United States is actually one of the smaller among its...
Oh, Canada, my home and sacred land. Da 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 da. Ah! Ah! Oh my God! Warn me next time. Don't put Trump's face in my face while I'm trying to hum the Canadian national anthem. How fucking dare you? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's like a Klan member burning a cross on... Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
That he himself said out back in 2019 that he forced Canada and Mexico to adopt after kicking off a similar trade war to replace the long-standing NAFTA agreement, with him at the time calling the current trade agreement that he's now lambasting, quote, the best and most important trade deal ever made by the USA.
Who the hell made these deals?
Now, the US trade deficit...
You did it again! Knock it off! Listen, I haven't watched your stuff in a while, and I don't remember your name, so I can't call you out by name, but stop it! Give us a trigger warning. This guy's literally a monster. This guy's a monster. You can't put this guy on my screen without giving us a trigger warning first.
Again, under the USMCA agreement, and there are arguments as to why a country might want to limit how much its trade deficit expands. It can lead to weakened currency, as the buying of imports leads to demand for other currencies and less for your domestic currency, which can weaken your dollar, and it can lead to job losses as industries move to other countries where perhaps a given product or service can be provided more effectively or efficiently. But the US doesn't really have an issue on either of those fronts. The US dollar has had a tremendous couple of years, and the job market in America has proven incredibly resilient, with unemployment in the US, while slightly higher than it was a year ago, still sitting at just 4.1%. Now, it's also worth highlighting here that Canada does have a number of its own protectionist measures that have also kind of come up in the debate here, such as dairy, where Canada actually imposes supply management controls of domestic production and imposes quotas on U.S. products, beyond which tariffs are charged, and telecommunications, where Canada restricts foreign ownership. With limitations put in place, they're aiming to protect the domestic industries from being flooded by its southern neighbor, which has massive economies of scale and will likely overtake any sort of competition. Albeit for banking, Trump's claim of restrictions is mostly incorrect. There are currently U.S.-based bank subsidiaries in Canada. Here's a picture.
Oh, wait.
Of a Citigroup.
Oh, yeah, Citigroup, yeah. An international corporation. So, wait.
In Toronto. It just hasn't been an overly attractive market to expand into since Canada intensely regulates its banking sector and requires U.S. institutions to set up separate subsidiaries to accept retail deposits in the country, meaning they...
Yeah, that sounds about right. Let's see. Citadel, isn't Citadel American? Citibank is... Citco.
Can't access the parent's company's bank reserves, which is inefficient for them. But even domestically, the protectionist measures around dairy and telecom specifically have been hotly debated over the years, given how these measures, get this, impact Canadian prices. So while it's quite common for smaller countries to try and protect their critical industries with these type of measures, that could be an area...
So I think the basic thing that we need to conclude from all this is that Trump is a dipshit. Trump is an inhuman animal and doesn't deserve the same rights as the rest of us. He deserves to be in prison. We all know this. Trump is, one might say, a cretin, a golem. I don't know what you want to call him, but he's definitely not no fucking human. Maybe a chimpanzee? I mean, can we call him that? Like, is it okay to call Trump a chimpanzee? Or is that racist against white people? Anyway, I can't fucking do this. So, yeah. If you enjoyed this stream, feel free to... Or if you enjoyed this segment, please feel free to drop a like and... support the show on you know, just send me, well, you don't have to send a tip, but, you know, go to my Twitch, which you can see. Let me go ahead and wait. I don't need to do that. You see my crap on screen. Anyway, check out my Blue Sky, check out my YouTube, check out my Twitch, and do whatever you want with my Patreon. I really don't care. And with that said, I'll see you on the next segment. Thank you for watching. You are so nice to me. Alright, let's see. I think I know what I want to do. Since nobody really watches this anyway, you guys, I think... Go to my thanks for watching thing. There we go. I think you can hear me now. There, so now I can close out my segments in the Thanks for Watching tab. And not have to be on stream. Or not on video with my ADHD ass. With you guys seeing that I'm not even looking at the screen right here. So, yeah, it's really, really, really nice. So, let's go ahead and move on to our next segment. You see, I don't know, what do I want to do? Got a lot to get through here. What do we got? New England as well. Jesus Christ. So we're going all the way out to Massachusetts. So... Oh, ew. Let's get through the reading segments first, because I really hate reading. I'm a millennial, after all. I don't like to read. So, let me go ahead and hit record. So, yeah, what's up, everybody? It looks like the Trump administration wants to deport hundreds of immigrants, even as a judge orders their removals to be stopped. See, this is literally... I don't care if you, if you're against undocumented immigration. These people have a right to be here. Especially if they're on a green card, such as, what's his name? Palestinian protester disappeared by plain suit police. I forget what his name was. Mahmoud Khalil. Here we are. Mahmoud Khalil. I want to start with the arrest footage. Voir des raisons de plus proche de vous? Non, pas maintenant. So...
Turn around.
Okay,
Turn around.
okay, let's not. Okay, he's not.
You're going to be under arrest. So turn around.
So this is the Associated Press. So you know they're actually worth their weight in gold, because the Associated Press is actually way more reliable than a lot of the media that actually goes into the White House these days. That's why they're not allowed in there anymore, because they literally call Trump out to his face. And so yeah, so they're not allowed at the White House because they actually tell it how it is. Associated Press, based as fuck.
You're going to be under arrest. So turn around.
Okay, let's not. Okay, he's not resisting. He's giving me his phone. Okay, he's not. I understand. He's not resisting. Like, you guys really don't need to be doing all of that. حبيبي كيف بدي اتصل فيك؟ Okay, hi Amy. Yeah, they just like handcuffed him. I don't know what to do.
So I think she's on the phone with his lawyer as they literally just come and kidnap him.
Okay. What should I do? I don't know. Nor. Let me ask. Can we get a name, please? Can we get your name? I understand the lawyer is asking for your name. The lawyer's asking for your name. He's saying they don't give their names. I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
Immigration custody at 26 Federal Plaza.
She said they're taking him to 26 Federal Plaza.
So basically, you know what's going on here. His issue was that he protested Israel. Let me see if I can. Mahmoud Khalil protest. So once again, let's go to AP. So federal immigration authorities arrested a Palestinian activist Saturday who played a prominent role in Columbia University's protest against Israel, a significant escalation in the Trump administration's pledge to detain and deport student activists. Mahmoud Khalil, a graduate student at Columbia until this past December, was inside his university-owned apartment Saturday night when several immigration and customs enforcement agents entered and took him into custody. His attorney, Amy Greer, told the Associated Press. So basically what's going on is he was protesting against the genocide, as we all know. He was protesting against the genocide in Gaza, because how fucking dare he? How fucking dare he call out the bombing of babies in literal Gaza? I don't give a fuck if y'all call it blood libel. I'll commit blood libel every fucking day. One of the reasons I fell for Trump in the fucking first place is because I am massively anti-SJW. I fucking hate them. I know the evil, scary transgender is against anti-SJWs. Well, first of all, back at the time, I actually was very wrong. I thought that it was all just like, they were just but then I actually started living what they were, experiencing what they were talking about, and I'm like, oh, so this is what the quote-unquote, people I was referring to as SJWs at the time. Yeah, but no, this is you're literally going to use anti-Semitism in order to silence critics. First of all, I don't care if he was out there with a Nazi flag chanting "Gas the Jews." He still deserves the right to fucking speak and not have his fucking citizen. It's called the First Amendment. What the fuck? Whatever happened to the First Amendment? What the fuck happened to the First Amendment? Y'all out here doing fucking Nazi salutes on national television with Elon Musk's excuse being "my heart goes out to you," and this kid says, "How dare you bomb babies," and you're gonna deport him? The fuck is wrong with you? This is why I don't view you as human, I view you as subhuman. You're out here literally talking, doing fucking Nazi salutes and saying, maybe Hitler was right, and you have the nerve to fucking come out here and deport this man. The fuck is wrong with you? I guess I'm a pro-Hamas radical. I want to kiss the leader. You guys are fucking stupid-ass retards. Like, Jesus Christ. You're so pro-free speech. Oh, sorry, I said retard. Oh, I did it again. Maybe I should start saying regards. But anyway, you're so regarded that you think that saying Nazi slogans like "the Jews will not replace us" and chanting and fucking with your Nazi salutes, "Oh, my heart goes out to you." Well, this is Mike Figueredo's version. I love it. Hey, Elon, buddy, my heart goes out to you. Like, that's some top tier fucking trolling right there. And I am completely fine with all, like, I am pro free speech. I do believe in free speech, actually. I don't think you should be locked up. Should you be allowed to, like, did you know that free speech also does not protect you from criticism? Did you know that actually talking about how trans people should not have the right to exist in public spaces, and especially if it gets enacted in public law, in law, is actually a violation of trans people's free speech? Did you know that coming out here being like, you can never protest Israel under any circumstance because the Holocaust is actually violating Palestinians' free speech? Are you actually pro-free speech? Or are you just pro-free speech when it's convenient to you? You're so fucking pro-free speech. You're out here saying "gas the Jews" and fucking Nazis, flying Nazi swastika flags and doing the Nazi salute and saying the Jews will not replace us. But Mahmoud Khalil is like, maybe we shouldn't be murdering goddamn babies. Deport him! He supports Hamas! He wants to kill the Jews! Even though not 5 minutes ago I was talking about how Hitler was right. But deport him because this specific situation redeems me. And now, next time I do a Nazi salute, I can just turn to you and be like, "But why? I just had a pro-Palestinian protester deported for speaking against Israel. I'm so regarded." Like, come on. You're not fucking free speech. Stop. The charade is up. The charade is up. Greer said she spoke by phone with one of the ICE agents during the arrest. Oh, wait, sorry. Let me pull that up. Where are we? Greer said she spoke by phone with one of the ICE agents during the arrest, who said they were acting on State Department orders to revoke Khalil's student visa. Informed by the attorney that Khalil was in the United States as a permanent resident with a green card, the agent said they were revoking that instead. So, you're a green card carrier. You're subject to all the same laws as a United States citizen. Also the Constitution as well. You have the right to free speech. Which, by the way, speaking of everything I said earlier, about how you can literally be like, "gas the Jews," and you still should not be fucking deported. What do you think Elon Musk is doing with his Nazi salute? And he's not even a U.S. citizen. You're gonna allow Elon Musk to salute the Nazi regime? But, oh, the babies are being bombed. Deport him? Deport Mahmoud Khalil for pointing out the truth? Anyway. A spokesperson for the Department of Homeland Security, Tricia McLaughlin, confirmed Khalil's arrest in a statement Sunday, describing it as being in support of President Trump's executive orders prohibiting anti-Semitism. So about that. Yeah.
A hand gesture by billionaire Elon Musk during a speech at Donald while thanking salute. The crowd is causing controversy, with some comparing it to a fascist salute. Let's take a look at a celebratory rally in Washington while thanking the crowd. There you see it, the world's richest man slapping his right hand to his chest and extending his arm outward in a gesture that resembled a Nazi salute. Musk then turned to the audience.
So what was that again? What was that again about prohibiting anti-Semitism? But it's only okay when your kind does it, when your species does it. But God forbids an actual real human being like Mahmoud Khalil says stop killing babies. Like, what is wrong with you, animals? Like, you're literally making excuses for anti-Semitism when you say this dipshit, this creature right here deserves to have full access to the Oval Office and every aspect of the government, including our Social Security and Medicaid and Medicare, and have access to the Treasury funds after he did that Nazi salute. But you're going to deport a person for exercising his American constitutional right. Like, you make me sick. You make me fucking sick. I can't believe you're in power. You are sick. Okay, let's see. Let's try to get through the rest of this one. So yes, AP, I know. Khalil's arrest is the first publicly known deportation effort under Trump's promised crackdown on students who joined protests against the war in Gaza that swept college campuses last spring. The administration has claimed participants forfeited their rights to remain in the country by supporting Hamas. Can I kiss Hamas? Unironically, can I kiss the leader of Hamas? I want to do it. Like, I'll literally, if I can come up with $1 million, I will pay the leader of Hamas to kiss him. I would do that. I would. And then I would ask Hamas to recruit me. Okay, now we're getting a little far here. Anyway. So, the administration, blah, blah, blah. McLaughlin signaled the arrest was directly connected to Khalil's role in the protest, alleging he led activities aligned to Hamas, a designated terrorist organization. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. As ICE agents arrived at Khalil's Manhattan residence Saturday night, they also threatened to arrest Khalil's wife, an American citizen who is 8 months preggo. You know, but you gotta love that good old-fashioned family values. You know, the same family values where 10-year-olds from Ohio are forced to carry a rapist baby. You know, the good old Republican family values. Khalil's attorney said they were initially informed that he was being held at an immigration detention facility in Elizabeth, New Jersey, but when his wife tried to visit Sunday, she learned he was not there. Greer said she still did not know Khalil's whereabouts as of Sunday night. We have not been able to get any more details about why he is being detained. Oh, I'll tell you why. It's because of the fact that he is speaking out against American allies. The supremacy of the American empire. He is doing the one thing you're not allowed to do, and that is speak up against the American regime and its allies. You're not allowed to do that in America. See, in America, we have this thing called the Constitution, which serves as like a distraction so that when your rights are violated, you know, we can just point at the Constitution and say, yeah, but that's our right to do that. But then it's like, at the end of the day, who's going to enforce the Constitution? The judges? Because the judges we're about to get into this later, but the judges actually tried to order the return of immigrants that were deported without due process. And you have the fucking dipshit from El Salvador being like, oopsie, too late. So now those migrants are now likely being tortured. They've been disappeared, and they're going to be held there probably for the rest of their life, never to be seen from by their family again. This is America. I would expect to hear stuff like this from China, where people are getting disappeared regularly and the politicians are unapologetic about it. I've seen footage like that. And we're seeing that here in the US. People getting disappeared for no fucking reason. So let's continue. We have not been able to get a blah, blah, blah. Greer told the AP this is a clear escalation. The administration is following through on its threats. A Columbia University spokesperson said law enforcement agents must produce a warrant before entering university property, but declined to say if the school had received one ahead of Khalil's arrest. Spokesperson declined to comment on Khalil's detention. So, essentially, yeah, we're going to do whatever the fuck we want. Just try to stop us, you and what army courts. Is essentially what's going on here. Trump owns our the unitary of executive theory, which was a very prominent thing in Trump's Project 2025, consolidates power into the hands of the government, into the hands of the executive. In fact, let me see if there's a reputable source that will talk about this. Unitary executive theory. Wall Street Journal, gag me. Federal Society, gag me. I don't know, did infographics do something? No. And how might... Okay.
President Trump has been back in office for just over 2 weeks, and he has already transformed the U.S. government. Since his inauguration on January 20th, the president has signed more than 36 executive orders. His administration has also ramped up ICE raids and migrant arrests, fired hundreds of federal employees, overhauled foreign aid, and implemented hefty tariffs on the United States' 3 largest trading partners, Mexico, Canada, and China. The tariffs, of course, on Mexico and Canada are on pause for the next month. But the president's moves have some lawmakers and government workers wondering whether all of this is legal. CBS News legal contributor Jessica Levinson is here to help us answer that. She's a professor at Loyola Law School in Los Angeles. So, Jessica, there's a conservative constitutional theory known as the unitary executive. What is it, and how might the Trump administration be utilizing it?
Well, it's the idea that the president is ultimately the one who has complete authority over the executive branch. And the most controversial part of this theory is the idea that the president has unfettered discretion to remove people who work for the executive branch. This is certainly an issue that is...
So he can hire and fire whoever the fuck he wants. There have been numerous people who were fired by Trump just for, you know, like, it's crazy.
Top of a lot of people's minds right now, particularly because, as you just clearly laid out, we are seeing a number of firings and or forced resignations, and the theory extends beyond just firing to issues like giving the president maximum authority without congressional interference to take care to faithfully execute the laws. But the area where we see the most litigation and likely the most movement right now is this idea that the president can fire who he wants to as long as they were an executive agency employee.
I want to dive into this further, but first off, how has the Supreme Court recently paved the way for this expansion of presidential powers?
Yeah, so in one case, a case that you and I got to talk about recently, the presidential immunity decision was obviously the Supreme Court showing a broad embrace of executive authority, and that was a case where the court said, for lack of a better way of describing it, we need to kind of bubble wrap the president. So when it comes to any decisions that the president makes...
Yeah, that's right. Didn't... Are they talking about the Supreme Court decision last year?
We need to kind of bubble wrap.
They paved the way for this expansion of presidential powers.
As long as they were an executive agency employee.
I want to dive into this further, but first off, how has the Supreme Court recently paved the way for this expansion of presidential powers?
Yeah, so in one case, a case that you and I got to talk about recently, the presidential immunity decision, was obviously the Supreme Court showing a broad embrace.
Oh yeah, I think that was the one from last year. The one about where literally the Trump administration, or literally any administration. See, I was talking about, well, if it's true that the president's above the law, then maybe Joseph Biden should be going out there and rounding up all the transphobes and sticking them in prison or something, and in a political, like, do the thing, lock up your... Obviously not, because he's better than that. He's better than his opponents. But at the same time, he could have very easily, he probably, as much as I would have loved to see him, like, actually do some pretty, like, essentially lock down the country so that Trump cannot get in power, as much as I would have loved that shit, he probably would have been more likely to use that power against pro-Palestinian protesters. So that I gotta kind of put a little no on.
Executive authority, and that was a case where the court said, for lack of a better way of describing it, we need to kind of bubble wrap the president. So when it comes to any decisions that the president makes that are official conduct, you are absolutely immune from criminal prosecution. Obviously, that isn't about hiring and firing, but it's part of this idea that the president is very powerful and deserving of protection, and it follows on a Nixon-era decision where the court said when it comes to civil cases and the president is sued based on official conduct, there is absolute immunity from civil liability. Another recent case dealt with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, where the court, back to hiring and firing, said that part of how the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau was structured, and specifically how the director could only be removed for cause, that actually violated the Constitution, because the president, as head of the executive branch, should be able to more easily remove that director.
Yeah.
I've been hearing a lot about Doge and Elon Musk. Senator Minority Leader Chuck
So
Schumer-
basically, he can do whatever the fuck he wants, and absolutely nothing can stop him. And not only that, he's probably misread that to believe that now he can literally do whatever he wants, which means the courts can be like, hey, this is against the Constitution, that's against the Constitution. Doesn't fucking matter. Doesn't fucking matter. He's a goddamn malignant narcissist who wants to literally unalive his political enemies. He wants to literally disappear them, and all these other things. And he's doing a good job. He's doing a good job. He's also doing a good job, like I said earlier in the stream, at ripping the mask off of the checks and balances of the system, and basically saying, no, America has never been a free country. You think you dirty Americans have any power here? Get the fuck out of here. I'm Trump, bitch. I can run this fucking bitch, and I will run it into the ground before I ever concede power to you losers. What the fuck is wrong with you? You think you have the right to health care? You, the trans community, have the right to live in dignity and to take a goddamn piss? No. I'm fucking Trump. And I will tell you where you can and can't use the bathroom. I will disappear my political enemies. I will defy court order after court order after court order. Just try and fucking stop me. Like, that's literally Trump. That's the madman that was elected. And his cult is completely fine with that. It's kind of really sad, actually. What time is it? What are we looking at? No, 10 p.m. So right on the minute. So I guess we're gonna end this this segment right here. So yeah, if you enjoyed the segment, please feel free to subscribe and like my stream, like my everything. Go to my Twitter account. Go to my Blue Sky. You can check me out on YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. I already said Twitter. But yeah, on Twitter I'm Q Matriarch. On Blue Sky I'm Kiki Rose 420. YouTube and Twitch I'm Michaela Rose 420. Feel free to look me up on there. And with that, thanks for watching. Catch me live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tous les mardis à 7 p.m. et 9 p.m. EST. EST. Désolé. Alright. Alright, you guys, I'm gonna go to a break real quick. I know we haven't done breaks in a while, but I really do want to do this. And besides, it would be a great time to feature the, be a great time to actually feature some songs written by, oh, hi, babe, welcome home. Written by, well, not written by, but put together by one of my dear viewers. Her name is Sweetness, and we'll go ahead and play her little songs she wanted, played on the show. So, wait. Alright, which one's what? Which one's first?
Workers and farmers, let's march. We want work, we want bread. We have nothing left to lose, for our fellows' need is great. Why is that, you worker? Global capital can enslave us. So come to us, you comrades, the workers, to the socialist movement, and stand united, determined, no plutocrats can enslave us. Why is that, you worker? A proletarian heart can only help. Plutocrats enslave people with harsh hours and austerity measures. The workers of all nations must stand up. The rich don't toil like us, they don't starve like us. But without our labor, they will lose everything. The red banner of labor can inspire us against the oligarchy. Stand up, you workers, and take what's yours. Our time is nigh, the iron is hot, and we must strike while it is. The streets echo with the footsteps of the workers' rebellion. We will win if by all the just reward is fought for. We'll break the chains in half until we are free from the yoke of capital at last. Free at last! Why is that, you worker? A proletarian heart can only help. Plutocrats enslave people with harsh hours and austerity measures. The workers of all nations must stand up. The rich don't toil like us, they don't starve like us. But without our labor, they will lose everything. The red banner of labor can inspire us against the oligarchy. Stand up, you workers, and take what's yours. Our time is nigh. The iron is hot, and we must strike while it is. The streets echo with the footsteps of the workers' rebellion. We will win if by all the just reward is fought for. We'll break the chains in half until we are free from the yoke of capital at last. Free at last.
Some of the lies the world will also turn its back on you. Hey Johnny Maga, take a cold shower. Your friend Trump is smiling to your face. Hey Johnny Maga, you are awfully mad at us because we will not sell ourselves for eggs. Hey Johnny Maga, why do you need so much land? Do you really want to try to conquer the whole world? Hey Johnny Maga, you lose your honor when Donald takes your cattle and sends back the fat. Johnny Maga, something is wrong with you. You think you are big, but you are so small. There will be no more love from the peoples of the whole world. Hey Johnny Maga, you lose your honor when Donald takes your chickens and sends back the you are so small, there will be no more love from the peoples of the world. Hey Johnny Maga, you have a terrible flow, because Charlie, you have chosen the wrong side. Hey Johnny Maga, what are you gonna do now? You too will someday be betrayed by the Donald Trump's regime. Hey Johnny Maga, we too had warned you, but you wanted to become a bootlegger. Hey Johnny Maga, maybe you didn't know. You are told high, but you will fall really low. There will be no more love from the peoples of the world.
I'm not afraid, I don't think so. You've shown the world that you have my spine. America, oh America, shame in you, shame on you. You have sold yourself out, you have turned on your friends. King Trump is driving America off a cliff. America is the devil, blood is on her hands. And the world sees you for what you are, you shameful fool. America, oh America, shame in you, shame on you. You have sold yourself out, you have turned on your friends. Trump is driving America off a cliff. America is the devil, blood is on her hands. And the world sees you for what you are, you shameful fool. America, oh America, shame in you, shame on you. You have sold yourself out, you have turned on your friends.
To the fight, we were born to fight. Onwards to fight, to the fight, we were born to fight. We are ready to fight. We shake hands with Bernie Sanders, we shake hands with AOC, we shake hands with Bernie Sanders, we shake hands with AOC. Here stands many comrades, standing staunchly as strong as an oak tree. We've certainly been through quite a few storms. Maybe we'll fall tomorrow like so many freedom fighters have. Maybe we'll fall tomorrow like so many freedom fighters have. But we're not afraid at all, not of the fascist cannons. We're not afraid at all, not of the police's bloody truncheon. Though we have lost many comrades, we continue the fight for the working class. Though we have lost many comrades, we continue the fight for the working class.
Oh, wait, my microphone wasn't even on, so you weren't even able to hear me talk about how much I hate you. Shit, I gotta start this over. Either way, I'm so glad that that whole bit was kind of muted out. Yeah, because I said a lot of things about you. I said I hate you all because you don't watch my shit, but it's okay because you hate me too. And that's okay because we'll have one nice old hateful circle jerk about how I'm literally worse than Hitler or something. But anyway, so yeah. Without any further ado, there we go. Let's go ahead and start this segment out, my bitches. So, Trump administration to deport hundreds of immigrants even as a judge orders their removals to be stopped. See, this kind of ties back into the last segment that we talked about, where Trump literally can do whatever the fuck he wants and there's who's going to stop him? The courts? Oh god, no. He's got a military. In fact, they're making a joke about this, saying that it's illegal for a judge to say, oh hell no, don't do that. And, you know, I think... Let me pull that source up, but Trump calls judge to be impeached. But let me quick go down and through here. Judge James issued an order temporarily blocking the... Okay. So let's see. I think it's this one. Yeah, so this comes from ABC News about 3 hours ago. So, Trump continues to call for judges' impeachment after Chief Justice's rebuke. We'll get to that momentarily. So, the Trump administration has transferred hundreds of immigrants to El Salvador, even as a federal judge issues an order temporarily barring the deportations under an 18th century wartime declaration, aka the Alien Enemies Act, which we can read more about that. Before we do that, let's go ahead and we're not going to read from the biased White House sources. Remember, that is all political. We're going to read from non-biased independent journalists. I know, independent journalists can be pretty fucking biased, I get it, but not to the extent that the White House is biased. Like, holy crap. The U.S. deported hundreds of immigrants after President Donald Trump invoked the Alien Enemies Act for the first time since World War II. I guess that's the... Wait. So I guess we'll read here. So a federal judge barred the Trump administration Saturday from carrying out deportations under sweeping 18th century law. You know what? No, I don't want to read it from this source. I actually want to read what the... I love you too, baby. I want to read exactly what the Alien Enemies Act is. The Alien Enemies Act of 1798, was it? Here we go. This detention and deportation power poses get the fuck out of here. An alarming risk of abuse and rights violations in both wartime and peacetime. What is the Alien Enemies Act? The Alien Enemies Act of 1798 is a wartime authority, a tyrannical authority, one might say, that allows the president to act as a dictator in order to detain or deport the natives and citizens of any enemy nation. I added that part about the whole dictator part in there. It does not say that here. They are way more neutral than I am. The law permits the president to target these immigrants without a hearing and based only on their country of birth or citizenship. Although the law was enacted to prevent foreign espionage and sabotage in wartime, it can and has been wielded against immigrants who have done nothing wrong. So basically Japanese people, oh, you're on my fucking ugly ass face and not even seeing what the fuck I'm reading. So this is what I'm reading, you all. This is the kind of shit I'm reading. I really need to get more tentative to my stream and actually act like I'm in charge of this fucking thing. Maybe I need some editors. I don't fucking know. I don't know myself. I'm trans. I don't even know my own gender. I don't know what a woman is. But anyway, let's get back to this. So basically, if you're Japanese, and then you basically get sent to a concentration camp, or as they were calling it, internment camps, because a bunch of weirdos from the Japanese empire at the time, that was also part of the Axis with Italy and Germany. Well, it doesn't matter whether or not you're against what the Japanese actually did to Pearl Harbor. Into the camps you go, you dirty like inferior, as we've decided. So therefore, God forbid you get any sort of dignity or due process, because America decided you're an enemy of the country. So, let's see. It is an overbroad authority that may violate constitutional rights in wartime and is subject to abuse in peacetime. Has the Alien Enemies Act been used in the past? Yes. The Alien Enemies Act has been invoked 3 times, each time during a major conflict: the War of 1812, World War I, and World War II. In World Wars I and II, the law was a key authority behind detentions, expulsions, and restrictions targeting Germans, Austro-Hungarians, Japanese, and Italian immigrants based solely on their ancestry. The law is best known for its role in Japanese internments, a shameful part of U.S. history for which Congress, presidents, and courts have apologized. Yeah, you can't apologize. Like, I don't care what you think. You cannot fucking apologize for ruining the lives of millions of people. Germany cannot apologize for the Holocaust. They have to fucking own that shit. They have to say, yeah, we did it. We're not going to do it again. There's nothing we can do to apologize. I'm sorry is not going to cut the horrors of what we did. I'm sorry is not going to cut all the inhumanity of what happened in those internment camps where the Japanese were placed. And likewise, when this is all fucking blown through, there's absolutely nothing that the United States can do to apologize for the trauma and all the immigrants that were disappeared. We're never going to see them again, even after the United States realizes how much we fucked up and apologized for it. We're never, ever, ever going to see. Like, yeah, we may apologize, but sorry is not going to fucking cut it. You cannot apologize for the Holocaust. There is nothing you can say to all of a sudden be like, yeah, we murdered 6 million Jews, but we're sorry, we won't do it again. Fuck off. Under what conditions can the president invoke the Alien Enemies Act? The president may invoke the Alien Enemies Act in times of, quote, declared war, or when a foreign government threatens or undertakes an invasion or predatory incursion. So let's look at what an invasion is. I feel like this is basic, but it's when a foreign force enters a country without that country's consent. Let's see. Let's see. Une invasion est une action militaire qui menace directement l'autonomie d'une nation ou territoire. So basically what this is saying, an invasion is a military action which is basically maliciously directed at the autonomy of a nation or a territory. Et fait partie des actions d'agression définies par l'Assemblée générale de la Nation Unie. I'm sure the French can probably translate that better, but They do acts of aggression against the General Assemblies of Nations in, I'm pretty sure I'm butchering that translation, but a better, so basically, an occasion when an army or country uses force to enter or to end, take control. So basically what Russia's doing, right? So the reason I was reading in French is because right here, une invasion est une action militaire qui menace directement l'autonomie d'une nation ou territoire. Il fait partie des actes d'agression définis par l'Assemblée générale des Nations Unies en 1974, and then it cuts off there. But yeah, 1974. So, yeah, so right here, you know what I mean? I don't think I need to re-say it. Invasion is a military action which is maliciously directed at the autonomy of nations or territories, and they do acts of aggression. You know, so like it's bad. Invading countries is bad. Now let's see what a predatory incursion is. So, predatory incursion in foreign policy. Doesn't really say. So it's almost like we made this shit up. It follows that an invasion or predatory incursion must amount to open hostilities or war. So, looks like they're doing it kind of interchangeably. But basically, now that we know, hey, maybe this video can actually sum it up.
President Trump has said he plans to use the Alien Enemies Act to detain and deport millions of immigrants. It's a 200-year-old wartime law that's only been used 3 times, and always during a declared war. The Alien Enemies Act was last used during World War II to imprison tens of thousands of innocent people of Japanese, German, and Italian ancestry who hadn't obtained U.S. citizenship. No president since then has even considered reviving the Alien Enemies Act. Until now.
I will invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798.
President Trump has said he'd proclaim a so-called migrant invasion. This could unlock the Alien Enemies Act's vast detention and deportation powers, allowing him to round up anyone from those countries who hasn't obtained U.S. citizenship, even if they're here legally, even if they have a green card. He could deport them without hearings, appeals, or any opportunity to defend themselves. It's impossible to instantly deport that many people. They would likely be held in detention camps for days, weeks, or longer. Targeted immigrants might have children born in this country who are U.S. citizens. These parents would face a terrible choice. They could have their U.S. citizen children placed in detention camps, waiting to be deported to a country they've never known, or their family could be ripped apart. But none of this is inevitable. What Trump is planning to do is not just contrary to American values, it's illegal. The Alien Enemies Act can only be used in wartime. And discriminating against immigrants based on their place of birth or ancestry violates constitutional rights.
Yeah.
Courts have the power to stop it.
Explicitly, it is a violation. It is, you know, discrimination. You are literally discriminating against someone from the place they were born, which I think, isn't that against international law? Is it against international law to... Well, I think that one's obvious. Bomb a hospital? Well, fucking course. Target immigrants based on their national origin. Equality and non-discrimination. The principle of non-discrimination prohibits distinction, exclusion, restriction, or preference on the basis of a law. International standards of governing migration policy. So yeah, looks it. Respecting human rights means refraining from human rights violations and blah, blah, blah. We only have a half hour left to get through this stream, so I'm just gonna... You get the picture. It's against international law, so... So what is this? No, this isn't the main attraction. So, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, I'm not going to say that because it's Fed posting. In a statement Sunday, responded to speculate, and yet earlier in the stream I said I wanted to kiss the leader of Hamas. But anyway, was flouting court orders. The administration did not refuse to comply with a court order. The order, which had no lawful basis, was issued after terrorist TDA aliens had already been removed from U.S. territory. Oh, Tren de Aragua. I think that's what that was. The acronym, yeah, Tren de Aragua gang, which Trump targeted in his usual proclamation that was released Saturday. In a court filing Sunday, the Department of Justice, which has appealed Boasberg's decision, said it would not use the Trump proclamation he blocked for further deportations if his decision is not overturned. Trump sidestepped a question over whether his administration violated court order while speaking to reporters, blah, blah, blah. And there is a part... Wait. Fucking time of war. That's what Hitler said about the Jews. Shut the fuck up, Trump. Well, basically... Oopsie, too late. So essentially, where were we? Trump sidestepped in a question over whether his administration violated court order while speaking to reporters aboard Air Force One on Saturday evening. I don't know. You have to speak to lawyers about that. He said, although he defended the deportations, I can tell you this, these were bad people. Yeah, a 10-year-old with fucking brain cancer is a bad person, you fucking monster. Asked about invoking presidential powers used in times of war, Trump said this is a time of war, describing the influx of criminal migrants as an invasion. Again, a 10-year-old with fucking brain cancer is totally an invasion, you fucking monster. And you get mad that people think you're literally fucking Hitler? Trump's allies were gleeful over the results. Oopsie, too late. Salvadorian President Nayib Bukele, who agreed to house about 300 immigrants for a year at a cost of $6 million. You know, that $6 million would actually be great, you know, to help me get my, my gender-affirming care. But, you know, Trump doesn't quite like that. He thinks that's bad use of taxpayer dollars. But deporting a 10-year-old with brain cancer is a good use of my taxpayer dollars. You see... I think I'm going to suspend my shitting on billionaires for not paying their fair share of taxes, because every dollar they're not spending on the taxes in this fucking economy is one less dollar going to this. It's one less dollar going to this shit. Likewise, we should also make tax evasion great again for the common person. Instead of you can only deduct a certain amount off of your tax returns, off of your W-2 income, with 401k contributions or some stupid shit so you don't have access to your hard-earned fucking money until you're old and dying, assuming you even live that fucking long. There should be a way for W-2 employees, such as everyday Walmart workers like the fucking janitor, to be able to pay $0 in taxes. I think if everybody paid $0 in taxes, we could burn this administration to the fucking ground. And there's another way to do it, so we don't have to do tax evasion. We can literally do a general strike. You can burn this fucking economy to the ground by doing a general strike. Which, by the way, the general strike, apparently, I'm hearing, is a general strike legal in America. Trigger warning, the answer might not be good. Most strikes are protected, but depending on the object or purpose of the strike, on its timing, or on the conduct of the strikers, you can be lawful, blah, blah, blah. When a protected strike ends, you are entitled to return to work. I think I recall hearing something about pass a law in the wake of the woman-led 1946 Oakland general strike. It outlawed actions taken by unionized workers in support of workers at other companies, effectively rendering both solidary actions and the general strike itself illegal. So this is once again, I'm not showing you what I'm reading, and I need to stop doing that. I need to be active in my stream. So yeah, this is so general strikes, this is illegal. But you know what? If the entire country decided that we've had enough and we all went out there while we were supposed to be working at the same time and we all marched, we could burn this economy to the fucking ground. And they would not be able to do their anti-social fucking deportations of 10-year-olds with brain cancer. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who negotiated an earlier deal with Bukele to house immigrants, blah, blah, blah. We sent over 250 alien enemy members of Tren de Aragua, which El Salvador has agreed to hold in their very good jails at a fair price that will also save our taxpayer dollars. Yeah. Like, I really want to fucking pay taxpayer dollars to house innocent people with no trial. Nothing like that. Steve Vladek, a professor at the Georgetown University Law Center, said that Boasberg's verbal directive to turn around the plans was not technically part of his final order, but that the Trump administration clearly violated the spirit of it. Just incentivizes further courts to be hyper-specific in their orders and not give the government any wiggle room, Vladek said. The immigrants were deported after Trump's declaration of the Alien Enemies Act of 1978, which has only been used 3 times in U.S. history. The law invoked during the War of 1812 and World Wars I and II requires a president to declare the United States as at war, which, of course, might I remind you guys, the president can't fucking do that. That has to be done by Congress. President cannot declare war against another country. You realize how many fucking times we would have already attacked other countries? I'm not saying we haven't done our fair share of wars. Just that we would have done as many of them as we have. We would have done far fucking more. If one fucking power-hungry dipshit in that Oval Office that hadn't gotten his head splattered fucking decided that X country was an enemy, I'm pretty sure Donald Trump would have declared Ukraine an enemy of the fucking... I'm pretty sure that he would have declared fucking Palestine as an enemy of the country and declared war against Ukraine, Palestine. Yeah, don't tell me he wouldn't fucking do that. Like, we see him claiming that we're at war with fucking, like, oh my god. Venezuelans are not all tren de Aragua. I feel like I shouldn't have to fucking say this, but we got a bunch of racists in this fucking shitty-ass country that, yeah, no. Venezuelan's government said in a statement Sunday rejected the use of Trump's declaration of the law, characterizing it as an evocative of the darkest episodes in human history, from slavery to the horrors of the Nazi concentration camp. Tren de Aragua originated in a infamously lawless prison in the central state of Aragua and accompanied an exodus of millions of Venezuelans, the overwhelming majority of whom were seeking better living conditions after the nation's economy came undone during the past decade. Trump seized on the gang during his campaign to paint misleading pictures of communities that he contended were taken over by what were actually a handful of lawbreakers. And is this the one that I don't know if this is the thing that on the gang, blah, blah, blah. I like this sign. Migrants are welcome here. Racists and slumlords are not. Abso-fucking-lutely. Get rid of the slumlords. Get rid of the racists. Can we deport racists? Can we deport Nazis? Send the Nazis to... We should send Nazis to their own private island. Just in order to entice them out of this country, we should say, hey, you want a permanent residence at this 5-star resort with palm trees and sand beaches and probably crabs in the crack of your ass. We didn't say that. We should, you should get into this airplane and get the fuck out of this country and go to that happy resort away from polite society. I'd be okay with that. Let's see. The migrants began arriving in December at the end of 2022, which Colorado crime statistics show was a peak of the steady increase in crime in the state since the pandemic. 2023, when Venezuelans became a staple on some Denver street corners selling flowers or offering quick car windshield washes, frustrating many Colorado voters. Crime dropped statewide. Fuck, I can't fucking stop yawning. Anyway, I'm getting really fucking tired, you guys. I hate you. It's a rough neighborhood, slowly improving. On the campaign trail, Trump routinely cites specific blah, blah, blah. So basically, this goes back to my previous analogy. If I decide I wanted to skin Trump alive and wear his skin like a leather coat, that doesn't mean you have the right to oppress all trans people. Likewise, just because one dipshit decided he was going to burn an innocent woman alive does not mean that a 10-year-old with brain cancer should be deported to fucking Mexico. Like, this is just crazy. Anyway, I'm getting really fucking triggered by this, and we only have a fucking 20 minutes left of this stream, so I'm gonna end this segment right here. With that said, if you enjoyed this segment, please feel free to to like and subscribe. Feel free to click the bell because it'll alert you whenever I post something on this channel, and if you don't click it, you won't know when I actually post something. And also feel free to follow me on X, on Blue Sky, on YouTube, and on Twitch. You can find me on X at QMatriarch, and on Blue Sky at KikiRose420.bsky.social, on YouTube at MichaelaRose420, and Twitch, the same thing. You can also support the stream, support the show with $1 every, whenever you feel like you want to. It keeps the lights on, helps us pay the bills, and will eventually, hopefully, allow me to be able to do this full time. And, I would love to be able to give you guys the news full time because this shit's getting out of hand. But anyway, don't do MAGA, don't fall victim to cults, and I'll see you in the next segment. Bye-bye! Oh my god, you fucking guys. Anyway, let's see, what do we got here? I think I'll post it now. Oh, the stream might go a little bit late today because I still got 3 topics I gotta get through. Fuck. Let me go ahead and quick post this real quick. I think it was this one. Trump invokes Alien Enemies Act of 1798, deports disappears hundreds of immigrants. Disappears hundreds, without due process. No. Let me find block note. Suivant. Oh, j'ai oublié. Public. We did 19th, 20th, 21st at 12. Défini comme première programmée. Alright, so that'll go up on vendredi. Wait. Mardi le 18. 21. Ok, c'est vendredi, ok. So, fermé. L'eau fermé. Et now we go to the next subject. Les modifications que vous avez apportées ne seront peut-être pas enregistrées. I hope not. Empêcher cette page de générer des boîtes de dialogue supplémentaires. Empêche. What? Reprends l'importation. Tu ne peux pas, sérieux? Everything's the way it needs to be. Non, elle n'est pas conçue pour les enfants. Why is it giving me this? Like, it should be... Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Get rid of that. Do process. Maybe if I register that, and then re-register, maybe I can actually get the fuck out of here and start my next segment already! Plus. Contenu alter. No. Date d'enregistrement. Indiquez où et quand votre vidéo a été tournée. I'm so sorry, you guys. Mise en ligne terminée. So we're good then? So that means I can, like, get out of here now? Oh, I got 2 new subscribers. Well, thank you. Thank you, everybody. You'll be valued members of the gay matriarchy when these videos go up. Le traitement jusqu'à acheter. Il reste... Okay. I don't know. Programme. Et... 2000... No. 12 heures. Okay. Programme. Like, this is so fucking ridiculous. Like, this shouldn't even... Votre vidéo. Modifier la vidéo. I may have to redo this one. Fuck. Because something happened. You know what? No. I really don't want to, like... No, we're just gonna... No, go the fuck back. I want to ensure this shit's actually gonna go up. Oh yeah, Felix is on top of my brother. No, je ne veux pas téléchargement.
I did a thing.
Ah?
Yeah.
Je comprends que la suppression de cette vidéo est définitive et que je prendrai tout accès aux données analytiques sur la vidéo. Oui, je comprends. What?
Nothing. Just did a thing.
Yeah.
I wanted to make the vote, so I made the vote.
Well, that's good. Okay.
I threw your ass under the bus earlier.
Well, you can talk to me all about it when my stream's over, my love. Non, elle n'est pas conçue pour les enfants. Suivant, suivant. Public. Programmé. Défini comme première. Vendredi. 12 heures. Programmé. God damn it. Where do all these fucking bots keep coming from? I can't fucking stand this shit. That means I gotta fucking go on Twitch TV and fucking ban this creature. I can't even say creature. It's not a creature. It's not a real thing. It's a bot. Let's see. Twitch TV / Michaela Rose. Get out of here, incremental shrew. Fuck out of here. You're fucking... Anyway. Alright. I think we got that cancer resolved. Trump says anti-Tesla protesters will face hell. Do we want to do that one? Is this one done? Contenu de la chaîne. So now I can... Holy crap, I can actually finally fucking leave. Contenu. Okay, we're good. We can finally move on to the next fucking segment, you guys. God, I hate YouTube. I hate this shit. So let's just minimize that. Go ahead and hit record. So did you guys know that it's apparently terrorism now in order to protest Tesla? Like, I shit you not, this little crybaby in the fucking passenger seat right over there is literally crying because... In fact, I want to find that video. Did I actually... I don't think I reviewed it on last week's stream. Elon Musk handling business with great difficulty. Here we go. This was on Fox Business. Wait, no, we're gonna...
with IP addresses originating in the Ukraine area. Marching against Tesla. I mean, how are you running your other business? With great difficulty. Yeah, I mean...
Now that, oh my god, injected into... To quote Kyle Kalinske, injected into my fucking veins what he's about to say here. Oh my god, you guys. Alright, let's watch this real quick.
This is originating in the Ukraine area.
Marching against the Teslas. I mean, how are you running your other businesses?
With great difficulty. Yeah, I mean...
But there's no turning back, you're saying?
Let me see, because I think this is edited. Yeah. Yeah, I want the uncut. So that means I gotta go to fucking Fox News? Come on now.
Elon Musk continuing to face heat over his work with Doge. The Tesla founder getting candid in a one-on-one interview with Larry Kudlow.
Ew.
You giving up your other stuff? I mean, how are you running your other businesses?
With great difficulty.
You can just see it in his fucking eyes. Look at him. Look at him. Listen to that sigh. Listen to that sigh, you guys.
Other businesses.
Interview with Larry Kudlow.
You giving up your other stuff? I mean, how are you running your other businesses?
With great difficulty.
Homeboy choking up.
Yeah, I mean...
But there's no turning back.
See, let's
government more efficient. Eliminate waste.
I'm just trying to do right by the American people by taking away Americans' health care and taking away their social security checks because of her more efficiency and stuff while I indiscriminately fire a bunch of people. Oh my God, why can't you all let my stock price go up? Oh no, I'm a victim. I'm gonna die. Oh my god. Shut the fuck up, Elon. Shut the fuck up. You're such a Let's look at your stock price, bro. Let's look at your fucking stock price. Tesla. Actually, yeah, let's look at that shit. Here we go. Here we go. 6 months. Here we go, baby. Here you go. To the moon! And then line go right around here, I think. Right around here is when he put his heart out to the audience. Right around here. He put his heart out to the audience and then right down the shitter. Right down the shitter. Oddly enough, I'm cool with that. So now that this horrible scumbag... Oh! By the way, he doesn't even have a majority position in Tesla, so Tesla shareholders can fire him anytime. And they're already getting pissed, dog. They're already getting fucking pissed. Let's look at this. Let's look at this real quick. Let's see. Furious Tesla investors turn tables on CEO. See, this is what makes me think I want to buy to cover. Because of the fact that, like, I am fully betting again. Like, I have to just because the law, like, I can't talk shit about Tesla without disclosing the fact that I am betting against the company. I do have a $1,000 position in favor of the failure of Tesla. Because I do think Elon Musk got himself in too fucking deep. And to be completely honest, you know, like, a lot of my money, like my retirement spendings, especially in my 401 fucking K, took a big ass fucking dive because of this clown that Republican dipshit's elected into office. And so in order to make it back, I figure why not make money off of the... So I'm immune to him calling me hysterical over... Like, because remember, the next day after his heart went out to the crowd there, he was making Nazi jokes and being all unapologetic and saying the left was hysterical. Oh, buddy, I am anything but hysterical. In fact, if you keep on doing what you're doing, I'm gonna make a shit ton of money because your company's gonna get fucked.
And so far, we're making good progress.
Tesla taking a hit over Elon's dealings with Doge, with the stock falling 30% in the last month.
Based. I love Tesla shareholders selling out of this shit. Yes! 5 things. Oh, yes, Elon Musk, can you please tell us 5 things you did last week? See, that's basically a burn, because he sent that letter to everybody at the government. I don't remember which particular branch, or not branch, which particular agency he sent that letter to, but basically it was like, please name 5 things you've done for the productivity of the company. And he didn't even say, yeah, see, it says so right here. The gibe stems from an ultimatum Musk sent this past Sunday. All federal employees were asked to explain what they accomplished last week. It ended with failure to respond will be taken as a resignation. And now Tesla shareholders are like, oh, so Elon Musk, can you please tell us 5 things you did last week? Like, I love this shit. Like, this is great. You see, I figure rather than be so fucking angry at the fact that this guy is just completely doing everything he can to tank this economy, why not become completely immune to the quote-unquote hysteria accusation by by selling short? Selling short. So now I have 5 not shares of Tesla that I'm expecting to continue to plummet as long as this fruitcake is gonna be like, oh, but you know, like all these horrible things I'm doing and am currently doing, and you're gonna bribe me saying because I care about free speech, advertisers, fuck you, as he said to, advertisers on Twitter. It's like, okay. Like, listen, Elon, your dad gave you all this wealth and you're just gonna piss on him this way? Like, I'm pretty sure your dad would be rolling in his grave. I'm pretty sure he'd be completely embarrassed to call you his fucking son. Like, oh my god. Like, I'm just enjoying your downfall, dude. Maybe at the end of the day, maybe you'll be deported. Alright. So let's get to the part about how protesting Tesla is now terrorism again. So Trump says anti-Tesla protesters will, quote, face hell. So I'm assuming that includes me because I'm contributing to the plummeting stock price. So people protesting against Tesla should be labeled domestic terrorists, President Donald Trump said on Tuesday. He just says protests. He doesn't specify people burning down the cyber trucks. He doesn't specify people vandalizing Tesla dealerships and putting Elon's Nazi salute on the side of the one in where was it again? Elon Musk Nazi salute projected in Germany. Which one was it? I don't remember. We're already going over time right now, so I'm not gonna go look for it. But let's see. Trump said they were harming demonstrators have targeted Tesla's showrooms in recent weeks in protest against Musk's cost-cutting role in the Trump administration. Trump said they were harming a great American company, and anyone using violence against the electric car maker would, quote, go through hell. You see, isn't that Trump's favorite fucking response to anybody who doesn't like him? For example, Hezbollah. He says they're gonna go through hell because they're rightfully attacking genocidal ships doing a genocide in fucking Gaza. He says he's gonna rain hell on them. And now he's saying it to peaceful Tesla he's not, like I said, he's not even fucking specifying whether or not he's talking about people burning Cybertrucks. He's just saying anyone, like, okay, anyone use, alright, fine, I completely overlooked that. And I'll read, I'll do better. Anyone using violence against the electorate would go through hell, but protest against, like, okay. So, President described the shiny red Model S, one of number of Teslas lined up on the White House drive, as beautiful, but said he was no longer allowed to drive and so would keep the car for the use of the White House staff. Current and former presidents are not allowed to drive for security reasons. He also said he would not want to buy a self-driving model, which Musk said would reach the market next year. The showcase... So if the President of the United States doesn't want to fucking buy a self-driving model... then I should double my short position. I should fucking triple my short position. It's going down, guys! So Trump said he had told Musk, you know, Elon, I don't like what's happening to you, and Tesla's a great company. Musk, Trump's top donor in the election campaign, has been tasked with radically cutting government spending through his, quote, Department of Government Efficiency. You know what Doge is? Is a little gift given to a little toddler. Like I equate Doge to back when I was a little ass twerp who didn't know anything about politics. I was like 7 or 8 years old, didn't know shit about the Bush administration. When I sent a little child-made book that I wrote, with using weird little polygons and praising. It was a little book about fucking 9/11 and how you know, like Bush was going after the evil terrorists because I didn't know anything. I was a goddamn 7-year-old who just got traumatized by the fall of the Twin Towers. And he sent back a picture of him and his family. You know, he Senpai noticed me. Senpai noticed me. And he sent me a picture of him and his family. Mind you, I was a little ass twerp. I was like 7. I didn't have my own political ideology. like, oh my god. That, you know, we're gonna make you our honorary police officer, but don't you go arresting people now because that would be illegal, you know, we can't have you do that, but if you see anything, you can tell us, and you can wear that little cop uniform, and here's a shiny real badge, but we can't give you a gun because you're not old enough to have a gun. Stay out of trouble, little kid. That's the Department of Government Efficiency. He gave a toddler a toy. And he's using that toy to destroy this fucking country. So, Tesla takedown protests have seen demonstrators gather outside dealerships in Portland, Oregon last week, and New York City earlier in March with the aim of undermining the Tesla brand. Good, as they should. In fact, I want to see more of Elon Musk's Nazi salute being projected on every Tesla dealership every day. So that when people try to go drive into that parking lot to buy themselves a little Tesla, they have to look at that Nazi salute so that they know that that's what they're supporting. That's what I want to see. I want people to admit that they are buying products made by... I shouldn't even be too unfair. Elon Musk isn't even a majority shareholder. He owns like 20% of the fucking company. He can be fired any day. All shareholders have to do is be like, bro, get the fuck out. You are killing my 401k. But I say, hey, as a short seller, shareholders, take your time. You know, don't fire him too quickly. He's doing really great. I need to recuperate some losses have received during the stock market crash that this dumbass Trump figure has, But anyway. So with that said, I am done with this segment. I don't know what the hell is going on with this country, but we are all about to die. The death of a million pigs. So with that said, feel free to subscribe to my show. Make sure you hit the bell. Otherwise, YouTube is not going to tell you when I go live or when I've uploaded a video. And with that said, I hope to see you in the next segment. You can follow me on X at QMatriarch, Blue Sky at KikiRose420.bsky.social. YouTube and Twitch at Michaela Rose 420. I hope to see you in the next segment. Love you. Bye. Oh my fucking god. How many more segments do we gotta get through this? Or through this show? We got fucking 2 more. Oh my goodness. I prepared a really good show tonight. I think we got content for a week. Let me go ahead and publish this for, what are we on? The 22nd now? Protesting Tesla now domestic terrorism. Trump simps for toddlers, shadow president. Alright. Non, elle n'est pas conçue pour les enfants. Suivant. Suivant. Public. Programmé. Publié à le 22e à 2h. 12h. Ouais. Si. Défini comme premier. Programmé. Importation 83%. 90%. By the way, my favorite fucking number in the first 100 numbers of the French number system is 80. It literally translates to 420 in English. 80. 4 is French for 4. 20 is French for 20. And the idea is 4, 4, 20, 20. And if you multiply 20 by 4, you get 80. And so therefore you get 80. It is my favorite fucking number. I fucking love it. Why are you still not publishing? Do I have to redo this one again? Why is it... I'll figure this one the fuck out after I'm done with the stream, because this is getting ridiculous. There's no fucking reason why this isn't You know what? No. One more time, because I'm gonna lose my shit. See, this one's publishing with no problem.
Oh, shit.
Supprimer définitivement. Goddamn fucking... I really need a better studio setup than this shit. This can't fly. Video. Maybe if I stay here until it's fully imported or uploaded or whatever. But I'm getting really fucking sick of my shit not uploading. Non, elle n'est pas conçue pour les enfants. Suivant, suivant, suivant. Public. Programmé. Le 20e. Le 21e. À 12h. Fini. Not yet, I got 2 more segments to get through, my love. And I have to literally babysit this one fucking video that refuses to upload until it finally decides it's done and it's uploaded.
I wanted to show you something. it's a little inaccurate, but acknowledge the fact that it's there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little inaccurate name-wise, but acknowledge the fact that it's there.
Well, maybe I can just keep the damn window open and it'll eventually finish uploading.
Actually, you know what, Brendan? I'll show you.
I'm gonna go ahead and get through these couple of segments. It shouldn't take me too long. So, alright, you guys. So this one's kind of horrific. So you know how the right wing is always about, oh, but we care about our veterans, we like our veterans, we support our veterans, we support the American troops. Well, this one veteran doesn't quite feel very very supported. Let's give him a listen. I love that. You're a veteran, you don't give a fuck about me. That's based. Now all the pigs, all the fucking animals in uniform. I literally called a cop a pig to their fucking face, and they were like, I'm not a pig, I'm a human being. And it's like, yeah, well, when this is what you're doing, when this is your job, you can defect. If you're in a uniform, you can defect. You don't have to engage in this level of pigotry, as I call it. This is pigotry. When a cop engages in the suppression of dissent, it's pigotry. With a P. Pig. And he leaves with, he leaves willingly. He hopped out of that, and he's now... And look at how they're all, like, making absolute... Like, this is... Like this is the Republican Party. This is what this is like they do not, like, where's the Republican Party? Where are they saying anything about this shit? They're not saying anything about the fact that you know, that this guy was basically dragged out. In fact, let's play that again. So like let's watch this shit. This guy, you know, clearly has a few issues with how he's being fucking treated. You know, in terms of, like, his veterans benefits and everything, and he probably lost a few friends, and yet this is how he's treated because he's a little too angry. I'm a veteran, you don't give a fuck about me, and this guy immediately decides he's gonna come around. And the pigs come in, engaging in their pigotry. This guy has every right to act the way he is. Everybody's cheering him because he served this country. And they're making it very clear they stand with him. Bravo, thank you for your service, dude. Let's see, let's see. Veteran removed. A 50-year-old veteran who was escorted out of a town hall meeting following a shouting match with a North Carolina congressman stood by his decision to speak out, saying he wasn't going to be silenced. Fucking based Chad, man. During a town hall meeting at Ferguson Auditorium in Asheville Thursday, Jay Carey confronted Republican Chuck Edwards on, or should I say Cuck Edwards, on his support for President Donald Trump's administration's proposed cuts to the Department of Veterans Affairs. He supports Trump's cuts to Department of Veterans Affairs. And he's a Republican. He's a fucking Republican. We support our troops. We support our troops. We're never gonna cut Social Security. We're never gonna cut veterans benefits. We support our troops. The troops are welcome here in America. You go overseas and you murder little babies, and we'll give you free health care and everything. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Do your job. Kerry can be heard shouting at Edwards, interrupting his opening remarks in the now viral video. I'm a veteran and you don't give a fuck about me. The crowd cheered and clapped as Kerry was escorted out of the forum. When the heckling began, Edwards said into his microphone, and you wonder why folks don't want to do town halls anymore. I was seeing red, Kerry told the outlet, reflecting on his outburst. I was angry and wasn't going to be silenced. He took issue with the Trump administration's potential cuts to Medicare and Social Security. Now, I feel like I'm just like... what is it? I don't want to do this. Like, I don't wanna FAFO chase. Who did veteran J. Kerry vote for? It doesn't say anything about his vote. But it's okay. I'm not gonna do Schadenfreude hunting on this stream. I do think Trump voter regret is great, and I love to see Trump voters cry, but there's no evidence that Kerry was actually a Trump voter, so I'm not gonna do it. But that's him, based fucking Chad. Veteran told WLOS that he had lost all of his belongings to Hurricane Helene and that he doesn't believe he is getting the support he deserves. Trump has insisted he's not going to touch Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid, but Musk, a White House... See, here's the thing. Trump is right. He's not going to touch Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. But you know what? Hitler, technically Hitler did not kill the Jews. You know that? Did you know Hitler technically did not kill the Jews? I know you're gonna try to clip chip me on this if any of you out there fucking see this, but no, Hitler didn't do it, and Elon Musk said so himself. It was the people who worked for the German government that was rounding up the Jews. But here's the thing: just like Trump fucking towered over basically just like Trump created Doge for Elon Musk to be able to go through with all of this stuff so that he can say he didn't touch Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid and outsource the blame onto his bitch boy Elon Musk. Much in the same way, Hitler oversaw the Holocaust, so Hitler is the reason the Holocaust happened, and Trump is the reason this is happening. I know you MAGA-tards don't exactly like comparing your little baby dick to fucking Hitler, but, Trump is Hitler. In fact, he was, as soon as Hitler shot himself, I believe Trump was born. I don't know, I could be wrong about that, but I wouldn't be surprised. I hope I'm wrong. When was Trump born? 14th of June, 1946. Okay, so there was about a year grace period from the death of Hitler to... God damn it, that's not helping! A year after! That's plenty of time for Hitler's ghost to travel through the void of eternity and decide... This fetus right here is my man. This is going to be the one to continue my horrors. I'm going right into this uterus to possess this particular fetus. I'm telling you. Hang on, you guys. Hang the fuck on. Hang the fucking fuck on. Hang on, you guys. All right, let's figure this the fuck out. Hitler's death day. Where is it? The 30th of April, 1945. It was 14 months later that Hitler was looking for a suitable host to possess, to continue his horrific nightmare, and he chose Trump. I know you don't like the equivalence, but Trump is Hitler. Okay, I'm done being dramatic. Anyway, so yeah, okay, Felmy, I think we finally, but anyway. So yeah, that's my rebuke of Adolf Trumpler, and I'm sticking to it. With that, once again, thank you for watching my shitty fucking show. If you enjoyed what you watched, please feel free to hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell so that you'll be alerted of when I actually go live, when I post a new video. You can follow me on X at QMatriarch, Twitter at QMatriarch. You can follow me on Blue Sky at kikirose420.bsky.social. bluesky.social. I don't fucking know what these people call their platform, but it's really based. YouTube at Michaela Rose 420, and Twitch the same thing at Michaela Rose 420. And don't forget, you can also support the show with $1. Just $1. It's the minimum. If you go to streamlabs.com/Michaela Rose 421, I guess they didn't like my 420, /tip. And you can donate just the tip, just the tip. I'm not asking for the whole shaft, just the tip. And yeah, with that, I love you, and I hope to see you on my next segment. Bye. You okay, dude? I hear you fucking laughing over there. Oh my god. Fucking Christ. Anyway. And so we get to the last news of the night, but I'm going to let Kyle deliver that news for you, and I'll just interject every once in a while with my little bullshit commentary on why I think Israel is literally, should literally, Israel, the borders around Israel should just be dissolved. The government of Israel should just be dismantled, and Netanyahu should turn himself in. And Israel should be given back to the Palestinians. They were fucking there first. I mean, come on. This is getting a little ridiculous, Trump, the anti-war, he's so anti-war that he will literally rain hell on his enemies. Let's get right into this, because I really want to go the fuck to sleep. It's fucking almost midnight anyway, so... So yeah, this is my boy Kyle. Maybe one day I'll have him on stream, but I have to not be a fucking political gnat first, which means y'all gotta subscribe to me. But anyway, so breaking: Israel massacres 400 women and infants burned alive, and he posted this about 9 hours ago, maybe 10 hours, somewhere in that range.
It's absolutely horrifying. Alright guys, I got some gigantic breaking news for you, and it's absolutely horrifying. So as you all know, Trump and Netanyahu basically created a fake ceasefire. And I warned you guys about that from the beginning. Netanyahu was very publicly saying, the U.S. told us, we can go right back to doing what we were doing before. This is basically a fake ceasefire. We're just virtue signaling we got a temporary truce. But in reality, we don't. The reason we know it's a fake ceasefire is because during literally phase 1 of the deal, Israel killed over 100 Palestinians. So it's not much of a ceasefire if you're not ceasing to fire. So we all knew.
Yeah. So about that, if you say you're gonna agree to stop shooting babies, you probably should stop shooting babies. I mean, I don't think a little baby that just came out of the vajayjay about 10 minutes ago, I don't think they're Hamas. I mean, I know that's a controversial opinion, that babies that were just born 5 minutes ago aren't fucking Hamas. But then again, we are a country full of regards that think that a 10-year-old with brain cancer is Tren de Aragua. It's very disgraceful, very fucking shameful, and this country will... But I don't know. Because we don't look at what we did in the Japanese internment era as really all that bad. But we do acknowledge the fact that the Holocaust was pretty pretty bad for Germany. It's almost like when we do essentially ethnic cleansing and genocide, it's okay, but when other countries do it, that's not okay.
It was like this PR bullshit move, and we told you that from the beginning. Well, guess what? Now they decided to put the genocide in overdrive. And last night, they opened the gates of hell on Gaza and effectively bombed them to smithereens. Now, as you all know, this is after a very extensive period of genocide in the first place. A total siege, no food, no fuel, no water, no electricity, being let in there, starving them relentlessly. That happened for at least the past 2 months now. People are malnourished. People are dying from disease. You have just these absolute horror stories of people having legs amputated and arms amputated without any anesthesia because Israel's blocking the anesthesia from getting in there. I mean, you all know how many hospitals have they bombed, how many schools have they bombed, how many UN buildings have they bombed. Shit, how many food aid workers have they bombed? The World Central Kitchen people, they bombed them multiple times. But, you know, some people were hopeful, like, okay, maybe they're sort of wrapping this thing up because they had the virtue signal ceasefire agreement. So, of course, as per usual, Israel violated it relentlessly. And last night, listen to this. This may be the single worst day of bombing and atrocities since the beginning. Massacre at 2 a.m.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But I don't know. What was Israel's first attack against Gaza? Oh no, this is recently. I'm not gonna find anything, but with how relentless Israel has been against Gaza, I highly doubt that 400 is the worst they've ever done. I know it's pretty bad, but I'm pretty sure they did raids that killed way more than that. Still not justifying it, but still, like, it's cowardly. Like, you know, I'm supposed to stand with Israel, and this is what I'm standing with, burning children alive. Like,
and Israel resumes indiscriminate attacks against Gaza, killing over 400 people. This in one day, including scores of infants and small children. Guys, when I tell you, I was scrolling through my Twitter feed, and it was just one baby who was murdered after another baby who was murdered. You could see the dust from the buildings on them and the blood coming off their head, and you could see the lifeless body. And I mean, we're talking babies, we're talking toddlers, we're talking children. It is one of the most grotesque and gruesome things I've ever seen in my life, and this was all completely and utterly predictable. And then Yahoo was broadcasting to the world, oh, Trump is going to let us go right back in there and do whatever the fuck we want, and so we're just going to pretend and virtue signal like we got a ceasefire here for a little bit. And then not only are we going to steal Gaza, as Trump says the U.S. is going to own Gaza, but also...
Yep, Trump wants to make Gaza prime real estate. He wants to, you know, like, make it a place where, I don't know, if you're Israeli, you can probably go over there and do a thing. You can seize houses and burn the shit to the ground because that fucking makes sense. Hey, this house is mine now. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna burn it down. So it's technically nobody's now. If I can't have it, neither can you, you dirty Muslim Arab freak. Like, this is basically what they're fucking doing.
They're moving on the West Bank.
It makes no sense, but then again, genocide in general doesn't fucking make sense, and you're really fucking pathetic if you expect me to support this shit.
Tanks deployed in the West Bank. They also want to annex the West Bank. Right now, as we speak, they're...
Like, I'm literally borderline posting what the Trump administration would call pro-Hamas propaganda on my fucking blue sky, because I literally do not give a fuck how it... Like, I will literally sleep with the Hamas leader. I literally will fuck the Hamas leader. I will literally literally make supper. I will make dinner for the leader of Hamas. And if I could, I would carry their babies.
Stealing southern Syria up to Damascus. Also, last night, we had bombing not only in Gaza, there was bombing in Lebanon and Syria as well. And so, think of all of that going on at the same time the U.S. is relentlessly bombing Yemen. And Trump came out and said, hey, if the Houthis retaliate against us, we're just going to count that as Iran attacking us. They are gearing up for war with Iran, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So more, this is from Dropsite News. An Australian medic, Mohammed Mustafa, describes the aftermath of last night's attacks at the Baptist Hospital in Gaza City. So they attacked yet another hospital. They've attacked over 20 hospitals since the beginning of this. Quote, it was just mostly women and children burned head to toe. Limbs missing, heads missing. We've run out of ketamine, propofol, all painkillers. We can't sedate, can't give anesthesia, we intubate, and people wait.
But does Israel have the right to exist? You don't think Israel should have the right to burn babies alive, and with their screams piercing the room, piercing the air, baby screams as they burn alive to ash? But, you know, Lincoln Riley and everything, God forbid one American woman gets her shit burned alive. And now we gotta deport all immigrants. But, you know, it's okay for Israel to fucking burn women and children alive from head to toe. But does Israel have the right to exist? No. You know what? I'll go on record and say no. No. Neither should the United States. The Palestinians basically took these people in after the Holocaust. Is like, you know, since everybody hates you, you can stay here. We'll protect you. We'll, be your friend. And then the Nakba happened. Just, in the same way, fucking Native Americans here fucking taught us how to grow crops using, I think it was fish bones, and then we thanked them by genociding them and raping their women and everything like that. Yeah, no. I don't care if you think it's anti-Semitic to say Israel should. No. Netanyahu needs to step the fuck down. The borders of Israel need to be dissolved. And the land needs to be handed back to the Palestinians. I am full land back on this one.
Wake up choking. No sedation. 7 girls are getting their legs amputated without anesthesia. He says the bombing hasn't stopped since 1:30 a.m., with screams echoing everywhere and the smell of burnt flesh still filling the air. I want to repeat, Australian medic gave that update. Now, what we're looking at here is war crimes.
I can't even finish watching
Trump's a war criminal. The International Criminal Court literally has an arrest warrant for Benjamin Netanyahu for war crimes. And you would think at a moment when it is so crystal clear what's going on that, you know, the media in the U.S. would maybe catch up to it, right, and take it seriously and report it accurately. Well, let me give you a little taste of how the media in the U.S. is reporting it. Ready? This is from CNN. Israel says it's conducting extensive strikes against Hamas in Gaza, as we have video after video and evidence piling on top of evidence that these are women and children and infants. And they say, ready? Throwing doubt on the fragile ceasefire. First of all, like I told you, from the beginning it was a fake ceasefire. If you paid attention, you knew that was the case. They already killed 100 people in phase 1 of the fucking
It was never, there was no fucking ceasefire. It was a stunt by Trump to get the Muslims to rally around him. That's what it fucking was. To further brainwash our Muslim population into thinking that they supported the right man. They got the ceasefire. Allahu Akbar. Meanwhile, any Muslim that sat out the election or voted for Trump because the Biden administration, you are an enemy of Palestine. If you voted for Trump because the Biden administration was really, really bad on Palestine, which I'll give that to you. But if you voted for Trump because he was really, really bad on Palestine, you better never, ever tell your family back in Palestine. Never. Your Gazan relatives, if they ever are able to resume contact with you, if they're still alive. Your relatives from the West Bank, if they're still... You can never tell them you supported Trump. Because I'm pretty sure they're not stupid. I'm pretty sure they know what Trump was saying. We're gonna deport the pro-Hamas radicals. We're gonna turn Gaza into beachfront property. They will view you as their enemy. I feel like disowning your children is against Islam. But if you told your parents that you supported the guy that fucking gave Israel the green light to factory reset Gaza, I'm relatively certain they would disown you. They would fucking disown you. They would disown you. Like, you have failed them if you supported this man. You failed your own family if you supported this man. So yeah, no. This douchebag, and like, I don't even know what to say, you guys. You failed. This guy, this man, this genocidal freak is not only not ending the conflict between Israel and Palestine, he is egging it on and attacking Hezbollah ships. Oh, but they're terrorist organizations. Anybody who fights back against their own oppressors is considered a fucking terrorist. Shut the fuck up, you fucking dumbass. We have way more terrorists here. Like, I'm sorry, but terrorism is violence in pursuit of a political aim. That means everything the United States has done is terrorism. So shut the fuck up. Murdering and raping native populations in order to steal their land is a political act. It is a war act. War is foreign policy. Foreign policy is politics. The United States engaged in political violence, violence in pursuit of a political aim. That is the definition of terrorism. The United States military is probably the biggest terrorist organization on the planet. When you go to an LGBT group with guns, calling the attendees there groomers and child abusers, that is terrorism. We have so many... When you burn a cross dressed up in a Klan robe on the property of a black person, that is intimidation in pursuit of a political aim. You are trying to scare that black family out of that property because of your political beliefs that they are somehow inferior to you. That is violence in pursuit of a political aim. That's terrorism. The Ku Klux Klan is a terrorist organization. The Proud Boys are a terrorist organization. The U.S. military is a terrorist organization. So get the fuck out of here about how Hamas and Hezbollah and Al-Qaeda are terrorist organizations. Get the fuck out of here. What are you gonna do, the United States Department of Homeland Security? Are you gonna come arrest me? I have a grandparent who fought in the Union Army. My family predates yours here, clearly. If you think that the United States is meant to be racist and disgusting and a death cult, you clearly have not, your family has clearly not been in this country long enough to know what the fuck it's about. If anything, Trump, you should be deported. If anything, Elon Musk, you should be deported. If anything, the terrorist organizations that are within our own borders should be cracked down upon. And the terrorist organization known as the U.S. military should be cut and dismantled and defunded. But are you ever going to do that? No. 'Cause you love terrorism. As long as it's in favor of the American people. Or, sorry, I should just say the white cisgender Christian ones. Your approval rating's tanking. And if you think, oh, fuck the polls, do you believe markets? You think markets? You see, Warren Buffett said, I don't know, I could be butchering this quote, but in the short term, the stock market is a voting machine. And in the long term, I forget what the other part of that was, but in the short term, it's a voting machine. You vote with your dollars. I'm pretty sure that with the fact that Elon Musk's company tanked 50% since December alone, I'm pretty sure that poll counts. Don't you think? Yeah. And with that, I bid y'all farewell. Thank you for watching. You can follow me on X at QMatriarch, Blue Sky at kikirose420.bsky.social or bluesky.social or bsky, whatever the fuck you want to say. YouTube, I am at Michaela Rose 420. Same thing with Twitch. You can catch my show every Tuesday, toutes les mardis, 7 p.m. or to 9 p.m. 9 o'clock p.m. So subscribe, abonne, make sure you hit the like so you can get the notifications that when I go live. Lorsque j'allais en direct, you can see me perform my stunts on how much I hate America, and you can also support with a tip for $1 at my Streamlabs /Michaela Rose 421 4201, just to be clear, /tip, and show your support. Show me that you love me. Show me that you appreciate me, and you want me to be successful.
Guys.
All right, I'm done with this narcissistic outro. Just follow me on socials, love me, and everything, and that was pretty bad still. Anyway, bye. Get out. Aw, Felix.
He literally just ran up like that.
Aw, Felix is cuddling. Well, I need to say goodbye to my ghost crew that is nobody's fucking watching this. So anyway, if you like the stream, because this whole fucking thing is going up online, assuming it doesn't get its shit rocked by the YouTube overlord algorithm, I hope you enjoyed this replay of the stream, since that's what this is, and feel free to subscribe and like the show and everything. And with that, I bid y'all adieu, au revoir.